afraid. There's blackmail upon them. There's intimidation in the decision that they make. They want to be free to be able to act without fear, without favor to anybody.
Even though there's a $260,000 involved in this case and over 8 million naira?
That's an allegation.
No, but
that's what we are saying.
Is he living beyond his means?
No, I don't have any problem with trying Justice NGANJIWA. Honestly, and that's why I'm saying the EFCC should not be demoralized. Any judge who has gone beyond the means by which we empowered him should be dealt with. He should be treated as a common thief and be sent to jail. But there's a procedure.
Okay. In this case now, did it look in any way as though the EFCC was usurping the powers of the NJC?
That's what this judgment has said. And that's what they say is this now. If, for instance, this trial goes on and the judge is convicted and is jailed and is sent to jail, that means the power of the NJC is lost. Because NJC cannot go to jail after the man has been convicted and then bring him to discipline him. There will be no point in that. What they are saying is that you are usurping our powers. Allow us to exercise disciplinary control over him. And that's what Section 158 of the Constitution says. It says in the discharge of his duty, the NJC shall not be subject to any control by anybody. Okay. But that's what is happening in this case now.
There was a time that it was out in the media, in the public space, that there were petitions against some judges in the NJC. Is it possible that the NJC failed to carry its responsibility, forcing the executive to step in?
Oh, well, look, if that scenario is playing out, Nigerians should be informed. I can take an action. You can take an action for a mandamus to compel the National Judicial Council to do its duty. If there is a petition submitted against a serving judge, and there are weighty allegations, and it's swept under the carpet, Nigerians should be informed. Civil society organizations should rise up. I will rise up. You will rise up. And I'm thinking that, look, when I was coming here, I was thinking, what is this hula baloo about Justice NGANJIWA? Because on the 23rd of June, 2017, this year, Justice Akintoye of the High Court of Lagos State dismissed the preliminary objection of Honorable Justice NGANJIWA, which led to this appeal. Nigeria was not at war. There was no hula baloo. There's no cry. I'm thinking that you media, and I must appeal to you, you are the one making Nigeria look like a corrupt nation. You are pandering to the narrative of this particular regime. It's almost 3 years now since this regime came in 2015. We've been waking up and singing corruption. Look, if you go through the people who are being investigated...
Are you saying that this administration is not effectively fighting corruption? Is that what you're saying?
The point I'm making is this.
Or that the media is not playing its role in decimating the needed information just so everybody is carried along?
The quantum of corruption, the quantum of the allegations of corruption compared to the national life of Nigerians is so infinitesimal. The number of people who are going through investigation can be more than 100,000, or maybe you expand it to 1 million.
But even though you have one person, Mr. Adegoruwa,
what is the problem of the media every day? Why do you make this one a headline matter?
No, when you have one person that amasses so much, it's also part of that culmination and aggregation of corrupt practices that must be stopped.
Deal with him in the way that
do you agree with that?
I agree.
Then why do you complain that the media is not doing so?
The point I'm making is that we can't be
overblowing this. Is the media overblowing this, according to you?
Why does this story deserve headline?
Why shouldn't it?
I'm asking you.
Because this is a government that is fighting corruption.
Why are you not celebrating Nigerians who are suffering?
Corrupt cases,
why are you not celebrating those who are jumping from the bridge?
Any corrupt cases must be brought to the fore to see that justice is being served. At least that we owe as media practitioners to the Nigerian people.
I agree with you.
How's the question?
I agree with you. I'm saying that don't pander to the narrative of this regime to put corruption on the front burner. Not all Nigerians are corrupt people. Celebrate the goodness and the values of this nation.
Magwe has a question for you. Magwe.
Well, I believe that, a number of people will agree with you, Mr. Adegoruwa, but this particular matter, this particular judgment has implications for the future. If indeed it has been established that on this particular case, a judge was living above his means, isn't the NJC also indicting itself if indeed the executive had to step in for this kind of matter to be brought to the fore?
Well, like I said here, if there is proof that the NJC is shielding corrupt judges in court, Nigerians should be informed. And we will rise up and demand that the NJC should perform its responsibility. And in fact, a number of our colleagues have said this is happening because NGC has not done his own duty. But we cannot allow the constitution to be swept under the carpet just because NGC is not doing his own duty. I mean, there are people in the executive who have been accused of corruption and they are still in office. I mean, we can't because of that ask the president to leave office. He's still there. There are ministers who have been accused of corruption. There are people within the executive who have been accused of corruption since this regime came and nothing has happened to them.